The moment is now. Are you ready?
Hello, my name is Damyan, I'm from Bulgaria and you're watching mission number 27 from the Armis mission catalog called the Dynamic Duel. So for this mission I have to use two of my pieces in order to trap one of my opponent's marine pieces into the Expanse. What I mean by saying to trap is to cover all the moves possible he has with his marine piece so he cannot get away with it, and I will be able to capture it with my next move. So for this mission I have previously created a setup, which is my most recent setup. So that's what I'm using now. So the computer accepted my setup. He's first to go, and now we started playing Armis. My opponent is to go now. He decided to move his marine piece onto the western corner of the coastal waters. What I'm doing is to push forward my coast guard in order to gain some authority over the coastal waters, which will improve my chance of seeing his marine pieces somewhere else, for example into the Expanse. So what I'm going to do now is to move my coast guard toward his marine piece with where I will be able to threaten his marine piece with my coast guard, and at the same time I cover my coast guard by my marine piece here. Now he decided to move his marine piece out of the coastal waters, which would give me which will open me an opportunity to start my mission with my dynamic duo, which is going to be my army and my vice president here. So now I move my vice president toward his marine piece, so I will be able to threaten his marine piece with my vice president, and at the same time I cover my vice president with my army. He decided to move his marine piece one block further into the Expanse, so I don't see his marine piece with my vice president, but what I'm going to do now is to move my army here into the Expanse, next to the Expanse I mean, where I cover my army with my vice president, and I cover my vice president with my army. At the same time I threaten his marine piece with my army. He decided to move his marine piece deeper into the Expanse, so he would be out of the sight of my army and my vice president. So with my next move I'm going to trap his marine piece with my army, while I cover my army with my vice president. Here it is. So now he has nothing to do except to capture my army or my vice president with his marine piece, because his marine piece is trapped now. He decided to move his president backwards and to save it, so he gave up his marine piece. So what I'm going to do now is to capture his marine piece with my army. And now I completed my mission. What I have to do now is to proceed to win the game. Okay, we have my opponent's marine piece onto the coastal waters here. As I previously said, is that I want to control the coastal waters with my coast guard, while at the same time I cover my coast guard by my marine pieces, or at least by one, like in this case, because my coast guard is out of the sight of my second marine piece. So what we have here is his second marine piece onto the west corner of the coastal waters, where he threatens my vice president and my army. So what I'm going to do now is to move my army one block to the east, where I cover my vice president with my army, and I cover my army with my vice president. So if he decides to capture one of my pieces here, he would probably, he would be captured by the other piece. So what I'm going to do now is to try to push him to the expanse again, where I might be able to organize a second dynamic duel. So again, I move my Coast Guard on the same space here, where I threaten his marine piece, and at the same time I cover my marine piece by I cover my Coast Guard by my marine piece. Actually, he didn't move into the expanse because I cover my expanse with my army. So what I'm going to do now is to move my army one block to the south, which was a bad move because now I'm into the side of his marine piece and I'm just going to lose my army. This was irresponsible, but I wasn't careful enough in this situation. Okay, anyway, I'm still in the game. So what I'm going to do is to move my vice president one block to the east, where I threaten his army, his marine piece, pardon me, and at the same time I cover my vice president by my marine piece here. Okay. Now I move my marine piece onto the coastal waters here, where I directly threaten his army, so he would probably move his army while I buy some time to move my marine piece here, where I would be able to organize a trap for his marine piece. But now we have his president here seeing my helicopter. Fortunately, I cover all my pieces with my marine piece here. All my pieces except my Coast Guard and my Vice President, which are covered by my other marine piece. So now I move my marine piece onto the other side of the coastal waters here. I preferred not to capture his army. Actually, he covers his army by his jet, I didn't see it, but I prefer not to capture his army because I would like to proceed with my plan to capture his second marine piece. He decided to move his child. He might try to capture my nuke. So what I'm going to do now is to move my vice president here, where my opponent will definitely lose one of his pieces, either his marine piece or his president at the same time, because I see both of them with my vice president. At the same time, I cover my vice president by my jet here and by my marine piece here. So I directly flew over his president with my jet, and I captured it. His vice president turned into a president now, so I might want to be careful here. Now he sees my jet with his marine piece, but I cover my jet with my marine piece onto the coastal waters here. So now I move my nuke one block to the southeast, because I would like to open a corridor for my president to get involved into my plan against his marine piece. My media goes one block toward my child, because I don't want to get my media isolated. I might need it. Meanwhile he decided to move his diplomat here. He moved his marine piece now 2 blocks further toward my base. So this is where he would be able to be out of the sight of my marine piece. These 4 blocks, this block which he is located on now, and these 2, this block and this 2 blocks. Okay, I covered this block and this block by my helicopter, which is covered by my marine piece, and I covered these 2 blocks by my marine piece. So these are the blocks he can get away. What I'm going to do now is to move my president here. Now his marine piece is trapped, and he will probably capture one of my pieces here. No, he decided to move his marine piece backwards without capturing anything, so I directly capture his marine piece with my president, so my opponent doesn't have marine pieces now. And I have both of my marine pieces, which might help me to organize a quick attack toward his flag. Now I move my president on the other side of the Expanse with my next move. No, I don't want to capture his religion for now. First I'm going to move my marine piece onto the south corner of the coastal waters, where I'm only into the sight of his nuke. But I think if he decides to activate his nuke, first he would capture his own president, and second he would capture most of his pieces, which would facilitate me in capturing his flag. Now I capture his religion with my president. At the same time I cover my president with my marine piece. We just exchanged presidents, which helped me to clean the board. Now he would probably move. No, he's not yeah, he moved his army, but I don't know why, because now I'm out of the sight of his army if I capture his flag. So now I directly capture his flag with my marine piece, and I'm not in danger by any of his pieces because he decided to move his army backwards. So I just took advantage of his move. So with my next move now I capture his flag, and I should see the congratulations sign. Here it is. This is a victory. Okay, this was mission number 27 from the Armis mission catalog called the Dynamic Dew. So in this mission I showed you how you're able to trap one of your opponent's marine pieces into the Expanse. So thanks for watching again, and bye!
Armis is